Okay, talk us through the varied performance. The industrial's not doing well, but ironically, the mining index doing well. How do you explain that discrepancy?
Well, the mining index, I think, has fully factored the indigenization news, and what is coming out from the ministers is that we don't expect any takeovers of companies anytime soon. The mining index has been propelled up by gains in fall gold, especially, which has released above analyst expectation set of results from a prior year loss to a profit of 1.5 million in the previous year.
The industrial index weighed down by a big counter like Delta, which accounts for over 20% of that particular index, but also other counters like Econet underperforming. What are the problems here?
I think fundamentally nothing has changed in the two counters, but it's a reflection of the lack of liquidity on the Zimbabwean market. I think buyers, especially foreign players, have been shunning the Zimbabwean market of late, and they have been participating mainly on the sell side. So I think that could explain why there has been a drop in the big counters.
Okay, so the blue chips not really doing well, but the small caps seem to be doing well. Counters like Pelhams and Border, counters like SteelNet, where's the value there?
I think these are counters that are very illiquid. So once there is demand in the counter, prices tend to be pushed higher. So it's reflecting a lack of depth of the Zimbabwean market.
Let's talk about policy issues, because today we've heard pronouncements from Morgan Tsvangirai talking about policy inconsistency, investor sentiment dropping, the sort of things that we know when we talk about Zimbabwe, the mines and indigenization. How's the industry responded? Rio Zim, for instance, we're told is thinking about a rights issue to help it retire some of its debt and just prepare the way forward for a restructuring. What sort of other measures are being taken?
I think most on the mining sector, most are planning on raising capital through rights issues. Pintura is also planning a 63 million rights issue, which has been slotted for 2012. But in the current year, I think they have approved a loan from the parent company, Mana Africa, of 10 million to continue their care and maintenance mode.
All right, and let's talk about the general operating environment. We know there's been recovery in Zimbabwe, but I think we've been a little bit too optimistic about what that recovery would mean. Authorities had told us about 9.3% on the back of great performance in mining and also in agriculture, but the IMF disagrees. The AFDB also disagrees. They say there'll be growth, but it will not be growth at levels like 9%. So what's your view on the macroeconomic outlook?
We tend to agree with the projection coming from IMF and AFDB. If you look at the agricultural sector, tobacco, which is the lead, has missed its 180 million target, and the selling season is done, and about 132 million tons went through. Cotton is also expected to miss their target. As well as on the mining side, gold, nickel and platinum are also set to miss their targeted output for 2011. So our expectations of growth will be between 7 and 8%.
Okay, and finally, we do know that obviously you're a dollarized economy, but internationally, we're seeing so much currency volatility because we're not sure about the recovery of the US economy. There's a flight to dollar-denominated assets, all those kinds of things happening internationally, inflation compounding the problem. How is Zimbabwe impacted by international variables?
Since we dollarized, this has a huge bearing on our side, especially on the export side. Now that the dollar is strengthening, this can threaten the exports, especially mining, which constitutes about 65% of the exports. However, the gaining or the strengthening US dollar will have a stabilizing effect on the inflationary pressure, since Zimbabwe's major trading partner is South Africa, and we have seen a weakening of the rand.